Leo, sit down. We don't tolerate fantasies in this classroom, and we certainly don't tolerate liars. The room went deathly silent as 10-year-old Leo stood frozen, his All About My Hero poster trembling in his small, dark hands. It was career week at Oakwood Elementary, a prestigious suburban school where status was often measured by the zip code you lived in or the car your parents drove. Leo was the new kid. Quiet, observant, and always impeccably dressed, he had transferred in mid-semester. His mother, a soft-spoken nurse, dropped him off every morning. His father, no one had ever seen him. Mrs. Gable, the veteran teacher with a penchant for correcting students she deemed out of place, had decided Leo was trying too hard to fit in. She saw a young black boy in a predominantly white school and made a series of snap judgments that would eventually cost her career. The assignment was simple. What does your hero do? Leo walked to the front of the room. On his poster were photos of a man in camouflage, but the face was blurred or taken from a distance. My hero is my dad, Leo began, his voice steady. He works for the government. He's a 4-star general in the United States Army. He manages thousands of people and helps keep the whole country safe. A snicker erupted from the back of the room. Mrs. Gable didn't stop it. Instead, she crossed her arms, a thin, judgmental smile creeping onto her face. Leo, she interrupted, her voice dripping with condescension. We talked about being realistic, a 4-star general. Do you even know how rare that rank is? There are only a handful in the entire world. I know, ma'am, Leo said softly. My dad is one of them. Enough, she snapped, slamming her ruler on the desk. I've seen your file, Leo. You live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Generals don't live in apartments. You're lying to make yourself sound important, and it's pathetic. Take a 0 and go to the principal's office. Now. Leo didn't cry. He just gathered his poster, looked her straight in the eye, and said, He told me people might not believe me. He said integrity is doing the right thing even when people are cruel. In the principal's office, Mr. Henderson looked at the boy sitting across from him. He had heard Mrs. Gable's version over the intercom, disruptive, pathological lying, delusions of grandeur. Leo, son, Mr. Henderson sighed. Why did you tell her that? You know honesty is our first rule. I wasn't lying, sir, Leo replied. My dad is coming to pick me up today. He's back from D.C. Mr. Henderson rolled his eyes. Fine, we'll call your father. If he's a general, I'm sure he'll have no problem clearing this up. He dialed the number on the emergency contact card. It didn't go to a cell phone. It went to a high-security dispatch. This is the office of the Chief of Staff, a crisp voice answered. State your clearance. Mr. Henderson froze. I'm calling for the father of Leo Vance. One moment, patching you through to the secure line. 30 minutes later, the school's front driveway wasn't met by a standard sedan. 3 black SUVs with government plates swung into the no parking zone. The side doors slid open. 4 men in dark suits with earpieces stepped out first, scanning the perimeter. The hallway of Oakwood Elementary went silent as the heavy glass doors swung open. The rhythmic clack-clack-clack of polished jump boots echoed off the linoleum. Mrs. Gable was coming out of the teacher's lounge when she saw them. Her jaw dropped. Leading the group was a man whose presence seemed to suck the air out of the hallway. He wore the Army service uniform, his chest a literal tapestry of ribbons, medals, and valor awards. And on his shoulders, 4 silver stars caught the fluorescent light. He didn't stop at the front desk. He walked straight toward the principal's office, his security detail trailing behind him. He looked like a mountain in human form. He stopped in front of Mrs. Gable. He was a foot taller than her, his gaze like tempered steel. I understand, the general said, his voice a low, vibrating rumble that made the windows shake, "that there is a question regarding my son's integrity." Mrs. Gable tried to speak. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. She looked at the stars on his shoulders, then at the men with earpieces, then back at the man she had called a fantasy. Mr. Henderson rushed out, sweating. "General Vance, we didn't realize there was a misunderstanding." "The misunderstanding," the general said, turning his attention to Mrs. Gable, "is that you believe a child's potential is limited by your own prejudices. My son didn't lie. He told you exactly who his father is. But more importantly, he told you who he is, a boy of character." He looked down at Leo, who was now standing at the office door. The general's face softened instantly. He knelt, metals clinking, and hugged his son. "Ready to go, Chief?" "Yes, Dad," Leo whispered. The general stood up and looked at the principal. "I expect a formal written apology to my son for the 0 and the accusation of lying. If I don't receive it by 900 tomorrow, my legal team will be discussing the discriminatory nature of this misunderstanding with the school board." They walked out. The SUVs sped away, leaving the school in a cloud of stunned silence. Mrs. Gable was placed on administrative leave the following Monday. She learned a lesson that day that no textbook could teach. The most powerful people in the room are often the ones who feel no need to shout about it. As for Leo, he went back to school the next day. He didn't brag. He didn't gloat. He just sat in his seat, opened his notebook, and continued being exactly who his father raised him to be, a leader. Would you like me to write a follow-up story about Leo's first day back at school and how the other students reacted?